Hollywood tragedies have been around for quite some time now, from the controversial and long-debated death of Marilyn Monroe to the accidental shooting of Brandon Lee. But what some people don't know is that these tragedies and accidents have existed since the beginning of Hollywood. Number 1. Martha Mansfield was making a name for herself in 1923. Born in 1899, she started acting at age 14. She was extremely talented and had been in more than 20 silent films during her career. She could have gone on to live a wealthy and luxurious life, but her fate saw otherwise. On November 29th, she had filmed all her scenes for a 1924 film named The Warrens of Virginia and had gotten into a car when her dress ignited on fire. Fellow actor Wilfrid Lytell covered her neck and face with his overcoat, but it did little to save her other burns. She died from her injuries on November 30th, 1923. It isn't known for sure what ignited Martha's dress, but many people believe that she was smoking a cigarette when she accidentally dropped this. Miss Mansfield was only 24 years old. Number 2. William Desmond Taylor was a 49-year-old Irish actor and director that was found murdered in his bungalow. He was found with a gunshot wound to the back on February 2nd, 1922. A doctor originally claimed that he died of a stomach hemorrhage, but once it was proven that the gunshot wound claimed the actor's life, the doctor disappeared and was never seen again. Nobody knows who killed Desmond Taylor, and the case remains unsolved to this day. Number 3. This one isn't so much a tragedy, but I felt like I had to include it due to how famous it was at the time. In the mid-1950s, famous actress and femme fatale Lana Turner began a relationship with a man named Johnny Stompanasso. Johnny worked as a bodyguard for a man named Mickey Cohen and his crime family. He met Turner after she broke up with her 5th husband. Things started out well at first, but ultimately went downhill not long after, as Johnny was extremely abusive to Turner. However, she was able to tolerate it until the date of April 4th, 1958. It was on that night when Cheryl Crane, Lana's daughter, was staying at her mother's Beverly Hills home for a visit from boarding school. Turner told her 14-year-old daughter that she was going to finally break off her relationship with Stompanasso, saying, "I'm going to end it with him tonight, baby. It's going to be a rough night. Are you prepared for us?" Stompanasso visited Turner's home that evening. The two argued violently, and over the course of the altercation, Stompanasso threatened to kill not only Turner, but her mother and Cheryl Crane as well. Crane, feeling fearful for the life of both her and her mother, ended up stabbing the violent abuser in the stomach. Johnny collapsed to the floor and died soon after. Cheryl Crane was not charged with the murder of Johnny Stompanasso, as it was ruled a justifiable homicide. At least the pair was safe. However, Turner's acting career was severely damaged, until she got a role in the movie Imitation of Life in 1959. She died of throat cancer on June 29, 1995 at the age of 74, and her daughter is still alive today. And number 4. On September 5th, 1921, a famous silent film actor named Roscoe Arbuckle drove to the St. Francis Hotel in San Francisco with 2 of his friends, Lowell Sherman and Fred Fishback. Rooms 1219 and 1221 were guest rooms for the 3 men, and room 1220 was where a party would be held, in which numerous actors and prostitutes would be invited. During the party, a 26-year-old aspiring actress by the name of Virginia Rapp was found ill in room 1219. the room that Arbuckle was sharing with Fishback. She wasn't hospitalized until 2 days later and died of her internal injuries on September 9th, 1921. At the hospital, Rapp's companion at the party, Mambina Maud Delmont, who had met Rapp only a few days previously, told Rapp's doctor that Arbuckle had raped her friend. Delmont was a very questionable woman and had a lengthy police record for extortion, blackmail, and prostitution. The doctor examined Rapp but found no evidence of rape. Rapp died 1 day after her hospitalization from peritonitis caused by a ruptured bladder. Delmont then told police that Arbuckle had raped Rapp. The police concluded that the impact of Arbuckle's overweight body, lying on top of Rapp, had eventually caused her bladder to rupture. At a later press conference, Rapp's manager, Al Semnacher, accused Arbuckle of using a jagged piece of ice to simulate sex with Rapp, thus leading to her injuries. By the time the story was reported in newspapers, the object had evolved into either a Coca-Cola or champagne bottle rather than a piece of ice. In fact, witnesses testified that Arbuckle rubbed the ice on Rapp's stomach to ease her abdominal pain. Arbuckle denied any wrongdoing. Delmont later made a statement incriminating Arbuckle to the police in an attempt to extort money from Arbuckle's attorneys. Mr. Arbuckle was regarded by those who knew him closely as a good-natured and generous man who was shy around women. He had been described at the time as the most chaste man in pictures. However, studio executives, fearing negative publicity by association, ordered Arbuckle's industry friends and fellow actors, whose careers they controlled, not to publicly speak up for him. Charlie Chaplin, who was in Britain at the time, told reporters that he could not and would not believe Roscoe Arbuckle had anything to do with Virginia Rapp's death, having known Arbuckle since they both worked at Keystone in 1914. Chaplin knew Roscoe to be a genial, easygoing type of guy who would not harm a fly. Buster Keaton reportedly did make one public statement in support of Arbuckle's innocence, a decision which earned him a reprimand from the studio he was working for. Film actor William S. Hart, who had never met or worked with Arbuckle before, made a number of damaging public statements in which he presumed that Arbuckle was guilty. Arbuckle later wrote a premise for a film parodying Hart as a thief, bully, and wife-beater, which Buster Keaton purchased from him. The resulting film, The Frozen North, was released in 1922, almost a year after the scandal first emerged. Keaton co-wrote, directed, and starred in the picture, consequently, and Hart refused to speak to Keaton for many years. The first two trials did Arbuckle no good, and by the time his third one rolled around, all his movies had been banned worldwide. However, on April 12, 1922, after a painfully long trial, Roscoe Arbuckle was acquitted of all charges and ruled innocent. Acquittal is not enough for Roscoe Arbuckle. We feel that a great injustice has been done. We feel also that it was only our plain duty to give him the exoneration under the evidence, for there was not the slightest proof adduced to connect him in any way with the commission of a crime. He was manly throughout the case and told a straightforward story on the witness stand, which we all believed. The happening at the hotel was an unfortunate affair, for which Arbuckle, so the evidence shows, was in no way responsible. We wish him success and hope that the American people will take the judgment of 14 men and women who have sat listening for 31 days to evidence that Roscoe Arbuckle is entirely innocent and free from all blame, the jury said during their final verdict. After the trial, Arbuckle's career and reputation were extremely damaged, and he was unable to find work. He died on June 28, 1933, after suffering a heart attack in his sleep. The death of Virginia Rapp is still unsolved, nearly 100 years after the infamous scandal.